Keynes, Bretton Woods, and the lost dream of a world currency. Imagine the world standing at the edge of a new age. The Second World War is not yet over, but everyone can already see that the old world has collapsed. Europe is ruined, Britain is exhausted, Germany and Japan are devastated. The old imperial order is dying. A new global system has to be built. At this moment, the most important question is not only political, it is monetary. Who will control the money of the world? Will the post-war economy be built around one national currency controlled by one powerful country, or will humanity create an international currency belonging to no single nation, designed for the benefit of all? This was one of the great debates behind the Bretton Woods Agreement of 1944. On one side stood John Maynard Keynes, the famous British economist. Keynes wanted a new international monetary system based on cooperation, balance, and shared responsibility. He proposed an international clearing system and a new global unit of account known as bancor. On the other side stood the United States, represented by Harry Dexter White. America was the rising superpower. It had enormous industrial strength and huge gold reserves. The final Bretton Woods system resembled White's plan far more than Keynes's, and it placed the US dollar at the center of the world monetary order. This decision shaped the modern world. It gave America extraordinary influence over trade, debt, reserves, and global finance. But it also left behind an unfinished question. Was the world meant to be financially united under one nation's currency? Or should humanity eventually adopt a universal currency serving the welfare of the whole planet? This second vision is deeply connected to the Baha'i faith. Shoghi Effendi described a future world commonwealth in which humanity would develop a uniform and universal system of currency. This video is about that lost possibility, Keynes's bancor, America's dollar-centered victory, and the Baha'i vision of a world currency created for unity. To understand Bretton Woods, we first need to understand the crisis that came before it. The early 20th century was a period of economic chaos. After World War I, countries tried to return to the gold standard, but the system was rigid and unequal. Instead of creating stability, it often forced weaker economies into deflation and social unrest. Then came the Great Depression. Countries raised tariffs, they devalued currencies, international trade collapsed, economic misery fed political extremism. By the time Allied economists gathered at Bretton Woods in July 1944, they were trying to prevent the same disaster from happening again. Delegates from 44 nations met in New Hampshire to design a new international monetary system. Everyone wanted stability and to avoid another depression, but Britain, represented by Keynes, wanted to protect countries from debt, while the United States wanted a system reflecting its own economic dominance. This was not just an argument between economists, it was a transfer of world power. Britain had once been the center of global finance, but after 2 world wars, Britain was heavily indebted. The United States had become the great creditor power. Bretton Woods was the moment leadership passed from London to Washington. Keynes understood that the old monetary order had failed because it punished debtor countries too harshly. In simple terms, if one country runs a trade deficit, another must be running a surplus. But in the old system, the burden of adjustment usually fell on the weaker country. Deficit countries had to cut spending and imports. Keynes proposed an international clearing union. Countries would settle trade imbalances through a new international unit called bancor. Bancor would not belong to any empire. It would be a neutral unit used to measure and settle balances. Keynes wanted surplus countries to share responsibility for global stability. The deeper logic was balance. Keynes described this international discipline as a form of financial disarmament. Just as nations needed military disarmament to prevent war, he believed they needed financial disarmament to prevent economic domination. For Keynes, the world economy was a connected system, not a battlefield. The American plan was different. Harry Dexter White did not want a powerful global central bank issuing a new currency. Instead, the system placed the US dollar at the center. Member countries fixed their exchange rates in relation to the dollar, and the dollar itself was fixed to gold at $35 per ounce. In theory, the system was based on gold. In practice, it was based on the dollar. Because the dollar was issued by the United States, America gained a special position. It could run deficits that supplied dollars to others and finance global commitments in its own currency. This was not merely an advantage, it was geopolitical power. The dollar system gave America power in several ways. It made the dollar necessary for reserves and trade. It gave the US financial flexibility other countries lacked. And it allowed American markets to become the storage place for the world's surplus wealth. Washington gained strategic leverage over global finance. The weakness of that system appeared later. By the 1960s, foreign-held dollars exceeded the gold available for conversion. In 1971, President Nixon suspended the dollar's convertibility into gold. This ended the original Bretton Woods system, but not dollar dominance. The world lost the gold anchor, but didn't build a neutral alternative. This is where the Baha'i vision becomes deeply relevant. Shoghi Effendi described a future world commonwealth based on unity in diversity. Within that order, he specifically mentions a uniform and universal system of currency. This would not exist to enrich one nation, but to simplify cooperation for all humanity. Keynes and the Baha'i vision share an important principle. Both reject the idea that the world economy should depend on the national currency of one powerful state. Keynes saw the danger economically, while the Baha'i faith sees it morally. Humanity is one, and its system should serve the whole human family. Bretton Woods could have been the beginning of a neutral world order. Keynes's bancor recognized the global economy as one system. The American plan chose national power. Today, when the US is unstable, the world suffers. A truly international currency remains one of the great unfinished ideas of modern history. The question is not only what currency the world uses, but what kind of civilization we want to become. One organized around the privilege of one nation or the welfare of all humanity. The Baha'i vision points toward a world commonwealth where economic systems serve unity, justice, and peace for the entire human race. If you found this video helpful, like, subscribe, and share. In the next video, we will continue exploring the hidden systems that shape global power. See you then.